And we are live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Spring Jamboree Round 1. We will be watching today the Sneaky Ticklers versus Diamond Eclipse. How are you doing today, my co-caster, HarkenScythe?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited for the Spring Jamboree. We got teams from all sorts of amateur leagues, so I'm excited to see how they can stack up against one another.
Yeah, most definitely. Notable leagues to be participating in this are Risen eSports, Ascension eSports, and some members of Compete League. Not so much officially on that last one, though.
Oh yeah, of course. Us being Ascension eSport, you know, we're rooting for the home teams. We're hoping they can take it all home, but you know, we wish everyone else the best of luck.
I don't know, I'm very unbiased here. As long as they show a good display and do some wacky antics, I am very happy with whatever team wins.
Oh yeah, let's talk about this ban phase so far. We have a Zillion ban from blue side and a Katarina ban from red side. Two pretty powerful mid lane picks, but also very specific picks.
And Graves going out as well. Still a very strong jungler, been in the meta for ages now.
Yeah, he's still an S tier jungler. He's still probably one of the best junglers. So, not surprised team ban. We do see a Hecarim ban. Also a decent jungler in low ranks. We see a Galio ban as well. Galio, of course, new champion. He's disabled as well, so I don't understand why they banned him. But
yeah,
I guess they didn't realize he was banned for this week. But the Hecarim ban, strong jungler. Can engage fights pretty easily, gets very tanky, so
not a problem.
Strong ban from red side, and we see a Misfortune ban as well.
Yeah, a little bit confused on that one. Might be more of a target ban. Misfortune is somewhat strong, not completely in the meta yet, more of a B tier type ADC, so it's must be more focused for a target pick, if anything.
Yeah, definitely. She's not, as you said, S tier, so we do see an Echo pickup, and we also see the Fiora. Moonshadow talks a lot about his Fiora play. He says he's a really good Fiora. Let's see if he can actually show that he's a good Fiora today.
We'll find out soon enough. Nami picked up as well. Very strong support in the current meta as we've been shifting towards those supporty supports, which is very nice to see the ages of mages finally come to an end.
And now we see an Olaf pick. Very strong against Tsunami because, of course, with his ultimate, he can completely run through his CC. Olaf, I don't enjoy fighting against the pick, especially top lane, but he is a pretty strong pick in certain situations.
Yeah, so far the Sneaky Tickler is going for a very in-your-face, engage, get in there and start effing things up type comp.
Yeah, an Echo, very good at diving, can do a lot of damage. Olaf, amazing at diving. They have a Karma as well for the extra speed up, the extra shielding. So, a very heavy engage type comp, and we're going to have to see how they round that out in the rest of the draft.
Xin Zhao picked up. Very interesting grab coming out of... Oh, I have yet to actually go over the names. Dai, Wile, Lomo.
That's a long name, but... Yeah, Xin Zhao, I'm not exactly sold on the pick. He's a decently strong champion, but he does have kind of issues in the jungle in that he can't really engage super well because even with his gap closer, he doesn't get super tanky until late game. When he starts getting after, Blood Razor, he starts getting tank items after, say, a Trinity Force.
Yeah, very interesting comp coming out of the Diamond Eclipse, but honestly, it's kind of quirky, and I kind of like it, and I like off picks. I tend to root for the off pick just because I want to see something shaken up in the meta every now and then. Usually doesn't work out, but honestly, it doesn't seem like it's going to work out in this case either, but I could be talking way too soon. Diamond Eclipse could pull out the hat trick with this one. We'll find out soon enough.
We're going to see a Lucian pickup, so that's a pretty strong AD carry. He's been seeing a resurgence with a Bork into, various different item builds. And we do see a Renekton hover. It would be into the Fiora. So the Renekton is going to be picked up, and I don't know how well this matchup is going to go. It depends on how Moonshadow uses the W of Fiora, the parry.
And there is a very meta ADC pick going from the Jhin coming out of Tati 2K.
Yeah, Towdy2K, when he played in Dragon League with me, he was a very good Jhin player. Knew what he had to do on Jhin to get the most damage out of his kit. So I'm excited to see how he does on this pick with a very heavy engage composition.
Yeah, we're gonna find out soon enough with that.
Because of course they have the Echo, they have the Renekton, they have the Karma and the Olaf, they have a Lucian as well, who is a pretty strong AD carry, and both lanes are kind of bully lanes, although I do think blue side is slightly stronger in lane with the Karma damage as well as Lucian damage, but Jhin and Nami, they just need to survive and they can do well as well.
Yeah, and I gotta admit, I do like the ability to just dive on in, and I enjoy comps like that, especially when you have something like a Lux, like a Nami, like a Jhin, where you really need to be able to prevent them from doing that damage by closing the gap and getting into that fight.
Oh yeah, and that's probably the reason why they picked the Olaf on blue side, so they can more easily get to the backline and ignore the Nami CC, the Lux CC, the Jhin CC. So as much as I don't like Olaf as a champion, I think he was probably one of the best jungle picks here.
Yeah, no kidding, especially considering that his counterpart is Xin Zhao, of all things. Very weird pick. It's going to be interesting to see how he builds with that, because given the comp that the sneaky Ticklers have, he could easily be shut down in these team fights.
Oh yeah, there is a huge amount of not really hard CC. We do have the Renekton stun, the Echo stun, although Echo stun is very hard to land, but they have a lot of sort of intermittent CC. They have the Olaf slows, they have Echo slow, they have Karma slows, they have Karma root. So he might have a lot of trouble, and he might have to go a lot tankier early than a lot of Xin Zhao's might like, where normally I see Xin Zhao with stuff like you go Blood Razor first, and then you build stuff like Trinity Force or a Blade of the Ruin King, and then you start building into tanky. But he might have to build tanky early here. It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, interesting indeed. And for those of you just joining us or unaware of what's going on, this is the Spring Jamboree hosted by both Ascension eSports and Risen eSports, with members of Compete League participating. This is a 2-day tournament and consists of a bracket system. What you are seeing right now is Group A. We are in round 1. This is to get into round 2. Unfortunately, we had a quite odd number of participants, so there is a round 1 that consists of only 2 teams, and that's to get into round 2. But this tournament is to win a mystery gift. Seems kind of like a low gift, but mostly this is just for the fun of it, just for the participation, just for the learning, just for the experience. I am your caster, Decerux, followed by my co-caster, HarkenScythe. How are you doing today, Harken?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm very interested to see how this game is going to go.
Yeah, most definitely. This should be an interesting start, as we already have very unorthodox picks like the Xin Zhao coming out from Diamond Eclipse.
Oh yeah, and we have a very, very volatile top lane. We have the Fiora versus Renekton. That lane is going to be very swingy. And mid lane as well, Echo versus Lux. Again, a lane that can snowball quite out of control, because if Lux gets ahead, she can just keep Echo away from minions.
I think that's a really tricky one, because good Echoes can really avoid the ability to harass from a Lux, as it is all skill shot based, and when you have a champion as mobile as Echo, it gets kind of tricky to land that.
Certainly, but you know, it all depends again on the skill of the players. So if the Echo is good, he's going to take the matchup and do very well, but if the Lux is good, I do think the Lux is going to have a pretty good time into the Echo.
Most definitely. It's going to swing either way depending on the skill matchup, really. And we know very little about these teams right now. There's only select players that we can really discuss, as there is so many players that have chosen to participate in this tournament. So we're going to be learning along with you guys as we go into this tournament, figuring out who's good at what, and really developing storylines as we go farther and farther into this.
Yeah, there's a lot of unknown factors. The only players I recognize myself are Towdy2K and Moonshadow. Both players are in Ascension eSports. I've actually casted a few of Moonshadow's in-houses, and I played with Towdy2K in Dragon League last season, where we did pretty well, and he was a good player. And That's all I know about anyone else in this game, so it's basically just talking about champions.
Yeah, most definitely, but it's hard to say much. Like we could comment on the team comms, and honestly, I do gotta favor Sneaky Ticklers team comm quite a bit. But you can't put down the skill level of these players, considering we still really don't know them that well. Especially considering Xin Zhao is picked up of all junglers on the Diamond Eclipse side. I'm looking forward to a good matchup here.
Certainly, although I would like to point out one thing is that Red side looks like they have some of their better champions. We see at least Mastery 6, and everyone else is Mastery 7 on their team, whereas the only real Mastery we see on blue side is on the Olaf. That doesn't necessarily mean they're bad at their champions, but I think Red side got their more comfortable picks, possibly.
Yeah, most definitely. Mastery level 7s both on the Lux, Xin Zhao, Jin, and Fiora with a 6 on the Nami. That's a lot of time played in order to get those tokens, so it's going to be a lot of comfort from Diamond Eclipse.
And they're going to need that comfort because they're against a very heavy engaged team, so they're going to have to play their champions very well in order to prevent that hard engage.
And now we are getting into game in just a moment. Sneaky Ticklers versus Diamond Eclipse, round 1 of the Spring Jamboree.
So let's see if we're going to see any early action. We might see a little bit of buff trading. I know at some of the in-houses I casted last night, we saw some buff trading. We didn't see much action in terms of fighting, but just looks like everyone's going to spread out for now.
Yeah, full spread, really just watch your jungle, make sure there's no invades going on, which kind of bums me out. If you ever hear me cast time and time again, I love the level 1 5v5s. This is my favorite thing to watch.
They might be fun to watch. They aren't exactly practical, but...
Hey, when you have a fiesta for clowns, everyone's having a good time.
Snuggle's going to take some damage, going to trade some back. So they know that the Karma and the Lucian are down bot side. Or at least they're near red buff.
Yeah, which is standard now. You're not going to see the lane swaps of yesteryear.
You never know. We could see some very interesting things. I expect very tight macro play. You know, turret trades, all that sort of good stuff.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah,
oh, Fiora.
Seeing the longsword 3-pot start from both sides.
Fiora needs to be a bit careful.
Most likely we'll see lethality rushes coming out of both champions. Possibly a Blade of the Rune King on the Lucian side.
Yeah, most likely Blade of the Rune King rush. That's what we've been seeing on the Lucian as of...
The opposite side starts coming out of both junglers from the Sneaky Ticklers and Diamond Eclipse.
So, that's interesting. Of course, Olaf likes to start at blue buff. He needs it so he can get maximum DPS with his axes. Xin Zhao as well starting blue. He could look... He's going aggressive already.
So far, a lot of aggression coming out of this bot lane of the Sneaky Ticklers.
Dilay.
Questionable if it's paying off so far. We're going to see a gank come out right now. Xin Zhao, early level 2, looking to get on the Snugglebutt. Snugglebutt having the flash away, and what a name that Karma has.
So that's flash and exhaust already from the support for nothing from red side. So that's a pretty strong gank to start off.
Yeah, most definitely. Very questionable to burn the exhaust as well as the flash.
So looks like not much is going to happen. Just a little bit of trading back and forth. In top lane right now, like I said, it can get pretty volatile pretty quickly. QB does have a little bit of health lead and a small CS lead right now, but that can very quickly swing.
A lot of damage on Love Fear so far. That prophecy you said about K Quick almost coming true as Love Fear returns. It gets hit by the snare. This could be the end for Love Fear as he is ignited. The ignite returned from Love Fear, trying to get first blood, but does not pick it up. Quick gets that one.
That was very close from Love Fear, but well played by Quick. He did miss an auto attack. He probably could have played that a little bit better, but he does get the kill in the end.
Yeah, and here we go with the fight with the junglers. Unstoppable Ninja trying to be just that as he goes into lay low mo, trying to get the damage, flashes away, and the stun gets that kill.
And that's 2 quick kills and double buffs now onto this Lux, so she's going to have a very easy time now against this Echo.
And awkwardly enough, Lei Lomo doing okay so far with the Xin Zhao pick. Questionable fight, pays off though, because Quick just around the corner.
So that was pretty good roam from K. He now has a blue buff early on, so he has very easily a pushing advantage.
And we see in the top lane, King's Land not really respecting the abilities of that Fiora pick, getting stunned out by that parry.
Like I said, it is a very volatile lane though. If the Olaf or the Xin Zhao come up, that lane is going to explode quickly. Bot lane, Towdy.
Snugglebutt going on to Toddy. Toddy takes a bit of damage, but is returning even more, doing shot after shot. The exhaust is on Nader, and the 4th shot takes him down. Are they going to try and get Snugglebutt next? Runs out of there just in time.
That was a bit over-eager from Snugglebutt, and he took multiple shots, and they switched to Nader, and Nader feeling the pain of that 4-shot crit.
Yeah, so much damage coming out of that 4th shot.
That was a 200 damage crit at about 4 minutes 50. So they had to play a lot more careful than they did right then. They can't afford to play aggressive like that against a Jhin Nami. There's just so much firepower coming from the Jhin, so much CC from the Nami, and they just can't match it yet.
Yeah, and it's really difficult, especially when you don't have a Mantrid Inner Flame landing. And considering that I believe the exhaust was not used on Toddy, I'm not sure if it was still on cooldown for the first gank, but not having that is a huge issue when trying to do that fight.
Yeah, we saw Nami use the exhaust. Lucian, he wasn't able to get any damage off, so that basically meant the free kill for Towdy 2K.
And there's a failed stun onto Moonshadow. Moonshadow trying to run out, has to flash away. Overall successful gank coming out of Unstoppable Ninja.
Did force the Ghost out, but the Ghost is on a pretty quick cooldown, a lot faster cooldown than that flash, but Moonshadow still playing aggressive in this lane.
Belomo doing a little bit of stalking here onto Kingsland. Won't get the Audacious Charge.
Looks like things are going to slow down a little bit. Not much. Bot lane's going to push in against red side, and they're just going to let this come in against them.
And here they go again, taking damage, not really getting a good return out of it.
Yeah, they have to... Jhin does not have an item lead right now because he hasn't gone back to base yet, so Lucian does have a small lead, but once he goes back, that lane lead is going to extend very far for the Jhin.
And Bubble lands on the Naderbug. Naderbug's taking so much damage. Exhaustive's on the support of all people. Meanwhile, in the top lane, here comes the gank out of Lei Lomo, taking down Kingsland. Back to the bottom lane, Nate's Bug manages to stay alive.
So that is the exhaust used on the wrong target. You really don't want to use it on a Nami support. You want to try and use it on the Jhin. So again, that's the exhaust used from the Karma.
Yeah, and this next back from Toddy should be pretty big. He has 1.8k gold at the very moment. It's going to make it really difficult in this lane for Naderbug, as he does not have his flash, does not have heal. There is no exhaust from Snugglebutt. It's going to be a very difficult lane.
All 4 summoners up except for the exhaust, but the exhaust is going to be up by the time they get back to lane once they back.
Another thing to note is that when it comes to playing Lucian, Lucian has more of a mid-game spike type champion. It's not working out doing all these fights early. He's getting severely punished for it, especially since he used his dash forward, leaving himself open to the Nami bubble.
And A weird build choice in my opinion. He decided to go for a null magic mantle instead of grabbing AD. Oh, love fear.
Yeah, there's having those summoners up, but Lady not really using that flash to full effectiveness. This could be the end, and a return kill finally for Sneaky Ticklers.
So that is the roam down from the Echo. And Zinzao and Lux are here.
A lot of damage on the Unstoppable Ninja. There goes the final spark. Lomo's gonna go down. Not really being that effective overall in that roam.
Lots of flashes burned from both sides. Well, good roam by the Echo. He did come down. He forced 2 kills out. And that's all summoners down, except for the exhaust on the blue side bot lane as well.
Yeah, it's actually questionable who got more out of that. I mean, yeah, they got a kill, but so many summoners.
That was the flash ignite from Echo, flash from Karma. So Echo needs to play a little bit more careful now because K does have both of his summoners up and Echo has neither of them. Echo does have his ultimate, to be fair.
Yeah, but Ignite does punish the ultimate, making it really hard to get that return health off of it.
So he's going to have to play pretty carefully for at least a few minutes. We can see a huge lead being built up in this top lane right now, with Moonshadow sitting on almost 80 CS, whereas Kingsland, he barely just hit 50.
Yeah, not a good game for Kingsland so far, and it's especially hard considering when you do take Renekton, it's with the intention of having that early power, having that level 3. Once you have that 3 skills, you have so much abuse you can put out in lane. But failing that early game to the point where it's not looking good, and most likely we won't see a comeback out of Kingsland.
No, definitely not. Renekton does not scale well at all, so I would expect him to build somewhat tanky now, rather than building stuff like Ravenous Hydra. He probably wants to go Titanic bot lane.
Looking to
A little bit of damage being traded out. Not much, just a little bit of trading. And Towdy 2K almost double the CS of Lucian.
Here comes the calling onto Naderbugs. Naderbugs has to back off after the tidal wave comes in. Here comes again coming out of Unstoppable Ninja, trying to get as much on as he can, but it's not really working as Kingsland is melting, gets dropped by Moonshadow, and now Unstoppable Ninja needs to leave if he wants to stay with his life.
Yeah, this Fiora is going to become huge. Already 2 kills. Massive CS lead over her lane opponent. Fiora is going
in the
to be...
bot lane. Fearlove going after the flashless Nami. Now Tati a little bit too far forward, trying to do whatever trade he can. A weird flash coming out of Tati. And down goes Lady Saphira.
So again, that's a good roam from Lovefear. He's trying to do what he can right now, and they do get both of them, but Nader with a very questionable flash.
Yeah, didn't need to burn that. That kill was definitely guaranteed. It didn't really give him much.
Oh. Blue side's gonna go for Dragon. Lux is here.
And this is not looking good for Love here suddenly. But K-Quick having the flash of walls, Unstoppable does make it into the fight. Moonshadow is here now. Lomo does go down. The parry onto Snuggle, but should guarantee the kill. Yes, Shadow picks up that one. Going after Kingsland next will be a double kill. Yes, it is, but drops. And now Unstoppable trying to get onto K-Quick. K-Quick taking a lot of damage. It's gonna be enough as Unstoppable Ninja grabs that one. But after falling to K-Quick, Curtain Call doesn't pick up any stragglers.
So that's a 3 for 3, and Dragon was not picked up, so that was an interesting fight. Fiora gets 2 more kills though, so she's 4-1 already, and Lux picks up a kill as well. So the 2 heavy hitters on red side are getting really, really strong really, really quickly.
Yeah, most definitely. And I feel like that's an understatement for the top lane because the rate at which a Fiora can snowball can be so devastating to the game. And if you look at the gold difference, 5,000 in Moonshadow's overall game so far. Meanwhile, just 3.4 for a Kingsland.
So, and Fiora almost has Ravenous Hydra fully completed, whereas the Renekton, oh, Ninja.
We see a gank coming up. Snugglebutt trying to slow Toddy and Lady Saphira as much as possible. There goes the calling, not really getting anything out of it, and a failed gank. Could have really been played out much better than that. Meanwhile, Love here going on to Leilomo. Leilomo trying to get the best of this exchange, but has to flash over the wall. K-Quick trying to pick up Love Fear, but Love Fear running too fast for that snare to land.
So, that was Xin Zhao's flash, so he can't make any flash engages or flash away from an engage. And this is just a bunch of trading going back and forth without a huge amount coming out of it. We see a bunch of kills being traded back and forth, but we don't see anyone going for that Infernal Drake, which is kind of surprising. It is probably the best Drake. And red side, they have heavy, heavy vision control around this Dragon Pit.
Yeah, especially considering how contested an Infernal Drake is, you would expect to see more fights breaking out around there.
We did see one fight around it earlier, but that ultimately ended in a 3-for-3 and nothing really came out of it in the end. So, I don't know, we could see red side maybe going for it at some point, trying to pick it up. They are pretty strong right now, but they do have to be a little bit careful in the 5v5s because Olaf is probably going to be better than Xin Zhao in a 5v5. Fiora and Renekton, neither of them are good in a 5v5.
I don't know, I think that's questionable when it comes to the Olaf though, because I don't know, the Xin Zhao Leilomo is actually going a very weird build, but it's one that provides the CC a little bit quicker than usual, so I really don't support the build. And considering just how fast Unstoppable Ninja's been melted, especially since he's chosen to go for the Cinderhulk early before actually getting anything that complements it, I kind of feel like Leilomo would do more in these fights.
Questionable culling by Nader. He cancels it as well, so he didn't even try and fully clear the wave with it. So that's going to be an ultimate on cooldown for quite a while now for basically nothing.
And despite all of that, he was able to finish his Blade of the Ring King. Not that far behind from Toddy, just from picking up those straggler kills.
Things are going to just slow down a little bit now, but there's potentially Olaf could go for another gank. He's nearby.
Essence Reaver picked up by Toddy, finally completing a first item. Looks like he's going to go for a Zeal next. Possibly a Rapid Fire Cannon second item.
Rapid Fire Cannon is most likely the second item. Gives Jin even more range. It means that if he has Rapid Fire Cannon on that fourth auto, it's going to hurt a lot.
Now we're seeing the Dragon attempt. Dickway is here, Curtain Call, and Final Spark goes out! So much damage onto the sneaky Ticklers, and now it looks like the fight for the Diamond Eclipse as they take kill after kill. Chrono Break gets Love Fear out of there, but he walks right into a Deadly Flourish and to his demise. Now Unstoppable Ninja trying to get away from Moonshadow. Moonshadow does a lot of damage, quite fed, but luckily the turret is there to protect him.
So ultimately, that's a 3-for-0. Blue side did pick up the Infernal Drake, but I don't think trading 3 kills over for it was exactly going to be worth it.
Yeah, not at all, really. A lot of damage onto Unstoppable Ninja. What is he doing? Falls the quick play, and it was completely unnecessary.
But he got the minion, so it's okay. Moonshadow looking for Kingsland.
Yeah, and there's that sneaky slice and dice Renekton.
So first turret did go over to red side. They did pick up that bot lane turret. So it's going to be more gold in their pocket. And it looks like their bot lane's going to start moving mid to try and pick that turret up next. And with how low Love Fear is, they might be able to get it.
This
Oh,
doesn't look
Snuggle.
too good for Snuggle, but he's a little bit too far forward. Gets hit by the Deadly Flourish. Will the binding go out? No, it is on cooldown. Love Fear trying to turn it on to Toddy, but no exchanges either way.
That was a lot of damage that Towdy took. Another 4-shot. Echo takes a lot. Gonna take a big chunk. And
now we're starting to get into ARAM mode.
looks like we're gonna have ARAM for a little bit. Karma's moving. Looking for a little bit more vision, but does just look like Towdy and Lady are just going to stay in this bot lane for now. Or stay in this mid lane.
Oh, that poor shot.
That shield
A
came
lot of
in late
punishment
from
on
Snuggle.
Love Fear. Love Fear gets hit by the Deadly Flourish, but Snuggle Butts prevents any more aggression, but you can't prevent the curtain call. But you can't prevent misses on the curtain call either. All 4 shots go wide.
It was a scouting curtain call. He didn't need to hit anything. But curtain call burns, so if there's a team fight, that's a big cooldown from Jin and Gone. They're gonna get, looks like they're gonna try and get Rift Herald now. This is really good for Fiora.
And Calling trying to be used on the minions doesn't really get too much out of it other than a bullet to the face. And there goes the laser K quick. What a monster picking up that kill. Now Unstoppable Ninja trying to get on Toddy. There's the Ragnarok. There's the aggression. Trying to be as unstoppable as Ragnarok is, but doesn't get much out of it. Here comes Lei Lomo getting in a fight. Jungler versus jungler. Deadly Flourish prevents the advancement.
Now ult used. Not gonna get much out of it, but the fight disengages and they did pick up the Karma. So, oh Towdy, you're too far forward.
Chrono Break is used though. Kingsland might make a huge play here. Towdy taking a lot of damage. Is he going to be able to get out in time? Unstoppable Ninja grabs an axe kill. But now Kingsland bubbled under the tower. Are they going to be able to kill him? He's barely able to get out. Here comes the flank. Unstoppable Ninja gets stopped. And Love Fear goes down, but manages to get K-Quake in the exchange.
So ultimately a 2 for 2. That was almost a 2 for 3, or a 3 for 2, however. But right now it's only just Nader and Snuggle. They need to be really careful right now. They are not very strong at all.
Yeah, and this game's really starting to snowball now. The 2 towers, plus all that CS differential, plus all the kills, has made this gold lead go to the 6K mark.
Yeah, and Fiora, she has her Titanic or Ravenous Hydra done. She has the Glimpse of the Void buff, so she's going to be extra strong in the split push, especially against her Renekton, who is very far behind, and it looks like he's going Trinity Force next item. Or not Trinity Force, sorry, Titanic Hydra.
Trinity Force Renekton, that'd be a very interesting build.
If you're far enough ahead, Trinity Force can work on any champion.
This is true. Binding just barely misses Snugglebutt.
He has to be really careful in this lane. Lux is 3 levels ahead, has a Luden's Echo, has a Morellonomicon. That's 250 AP on the Lux already, and very little health on that Karma.
Yeah, so far, not much action coming back out. A lot of exchanges and kills. 21 minutes into this game, we only have 2 towers down. And Binding almost hit Snugglebutt.
That was inches away. If that hit him, I think they kill him there. But it didn't, so. Oh, Nader.
The curtain call. Can Toddy actually land it this time? Nader barely getting out of range. There goes the final spark, doing a lot of damage on the Snugglebutt. Will it be enough to get them off the tower and let the siege be successful? Ooh, Calling not getting too much. Here comes Unstoppable Ninja, but he's all by himself as he takes shot after shot. Is he going to go down? Barely manages to run out thanks to the kill from Naderbugs.
Again, he's just barely getting away, but that forces them off the turret, and they should be able to get this now. Fiora's here.
Oh, man. The build path of Unstoppable Ninja taking the righteous glory. He's going for that need for speed Olaf build.
I do not think that's a good idea here because raw health is not very good when you're getting burned down, but they're going to try and get this Cloud Drake. Echo.
Picked up quite easily. Moonshadow flashing over the wall, looking to get onto Love here, but he's in the middle. 3 members of the Sneaky Ticklers as they grab that kill. Now the fight might continue. Unstoppable going far forward. Final Spark is used. A lot of damage chunked onto the Sneaky Ticklers, but the disengage does come through. Or does it? K-Quick might want more. Axe lands.
Okay.
Unstoppable's going a little bit too deep here. Deadly Flourish lands onto Unstoppable. And now K-Quick grabs the kill.
So that is a Cloud Drake and a 1-for-1 in the end. It was more worth it compared to Blue Side when they picked up that Infernal Drake and lost 3 kills, but that's still the Fiora shutdown goal because she was very far ahead, so a little bit more gold in their pockets now.
Oh no, Love here. Caught shopping. It's picked off. Easy kill picked up when you're in the shopping screen.
Yeah, it's the Lux damage. She has the Luden's Echo, the Morellos, and Sword Boot. She's going to have a huge amount of burst.
Moonshadow caught a little bit deep. 3 members. Will Moonshadow be able to turn this? Trying to get everything on the Kingsland. Picks them off. Final Spark goes out. Now Nate's really low. Trying to get the kill on Unstoppable. Unstoppable does go down. Moonshadow might be able to win this fight. K-Quick comes to the rescue. And what a disaster for the Sneaky Ticklers.
Yeah, this is the Nightmare Fiora scenario. That's an ace. This is the Nightmare Fiora scenario. She's 7-2 already. Who is going to stop her? You can't even send 3 members up against her when she has an ultimate up because she'll just shred through you anyways.
Yeah, and I mean, the 3-member thing could have worked, but it is far too late in this game to Ravenous Hydra the Black Cleaver. You aren't going to survive that if you let it live for too long, and Moonshadow is putting on a clinic on this Fiora.
Yeah, once she has her ultimate, even if you send 2-3 people, Towdy, you're in trouble here, buddy.
Well, he got the turret, but unfortunately he doesn't get to keep his life.
He does flash the mastery at the end.
A little bit worse.
He does get the turret, so it's not the worst thing in the world. It's more global gold, so that gold lead for Red Side is about 10,000 gold now.
Yeah, so far, Diamond Eclipse looking pretty good, showing why they had those level 7 masteries on almost all their players.
Yeah, even the Lux now, she just straight up bought Azonia's Hourglass. She had enough money, so she just straight up bought it. She didn't even need the components.
So much damage built on every member. We see the Xin Zhao build bringing out that Trinity Force.
And we see a Bloodthirster from Fiora.
Oh,
good luck.
My.
That 1v3 top lane, that's just a glimpse into what this Fiora is going to do now.
Yeah, Meterbugs is a little bit lonely with Leilomo. Looks like he's gonna get cut out. Gets hit again. 3 Talon Strike is successful. Naderbugs trying to run. Audacious Charge should finish this off. He's under the tower, but there it is. A kill picked up. Now here comes a fight, and Moonshadow is gonna clean house if you let him. Going after Unstoppable Ninja, stopping him in his tracks. Not very sneaky is that Ninja. Leifier is caught up. Can't dodge the Final Spark. And what a disaster for the Sneaky Ticklers.
Yeah, Lux 10-2-7, Fiora 9-2-7, or 9-2-6, and I think this might be game possibly. At the very least, it's going to be an inhibitor and an inhibitor turret bot lane.
Yeah, not game quite yet, but their base is in shambles, which means the end will be coming soon at this rate.
The culling mostly misses.
Oh, is this going to be triple inhib? It looks very likely. 5th member of Sneaky Ticklers coming up in 3 seconds, but it's far too late as the base in shambles. All 3 inhibitors about to go down. So much attack speed coming off Leilomo. Leilomo has to run out of there. Love here is sticking to him. Leilomo choosing to run back in and take his life in order to save K-Quick.
So K-Quick does get out. Even though he died, that inhibitor is very, very low. If Fiora wants to come down there, she might be able to get it. Oh, Touty.
Oh, Touty, there's no running from that one, my friend. Love Fear going on to K-Quick. Don't be surprised if he turns this, and he does! K-Quick grabs that kill. Touty picked off, but we knew that was coming from a mile away.
And K-Quick, very well done in the 2v1. The Karma forced to tiny amounts of health, just slightly above 1%. And that's even more money in this Lux's pocket, who's now 11-2.
Yeah, and that's the danger right there. That Lux combo does so much damage, especially when that Lux was 10-2-7 at the time that play happened.
And only now is Olaf actually starting to pick up real tank stats. He now has a Spectre's Cowl, but at this point,
It's far too late.
It doesn't even matter. He tried to go raw health build. The problem is with that, you're against a Fiora. You know she has percent health true damage, as well as massive amounts of AD. Get a Deadman's Plate instead of the Righteous Glory first item. We're going to see an Infernal Drake for red side too. That's just going to amplify their damage even further.
Ooh, K-Quick misses the combo. This could be bad for K-Quick. Hitting on K-Quick. K-Quick trying to run as fast as she can. K-Quick using the hourglass, but it doesn't look too good. Shut down. Love Fear grabs that money.
Love Fear though, that's just one ability, and he got chunked down to a third health, and they're going to grab the Baron off of that.
Yeah, unfortunately, K-Quick getting a little too comfortable with these 100-0 moments, misses the binding, misses the combo, but at the very least, you get the Baron.
Yeah, and now what I want to see them do is send Fiora in a solo lane and let her shove it up with both Baron buff as well as a Guardian Angel now and Glimpse of the Void. They're going to have to send multiple people as topper. Go for like a 4-1. Send the rest of your members up mid lane. And send Fiora bot lane against the inhibitor. You know, use this massive Fiora lead that you have. Because they need to send multiple members to stopper.
Yeah, so far, I kind of feel like Diamond Eclipse is just kind of milking this game right now. A little bit BM. I feel like if they would just group up for that inhibitor, they could have taken it ages ago.
They just want to show off.
Yeah.
They need to have some bragging rights. So that's exactly what they're doing. Does look like they're gonna run down for the inhibitor now. Lomo, you're a bit far forward, although he does now have backup. The very high firepower backup with the Jhin and the Fiora. We got some flashing.
Well, here comes the unstoppable Ninja using Ragnarok, trying to get onto K-Quick, but the fight is everywhere. K-Quick manages to survive for now. Kills dropping left and right for the sneaky Ticklers. King's Land goes down next, and other than that, it's gonna be game. Love Fear, there's nothing you can do to get away from that. That is an ace picked up for Diamond Eclipse, and they will progress to round 2.
Absolute domination from Eclipse. They took the lead and they absolutely ran with it. They got their Lux and their Fiora ahead, which is exactly what they needed to do to win this game. And with those leads, they were unstoppable.
Yeah, most definitely a great display of raw, unadulterated power coming out from Diamond Eclipse. We will see the damage charts in just a second.
I have a feeling Lux did the most damage. I think it's an educated guess.
Yeah, what a surprise, K-Quick. Overall, a great display coming out of Diamond Eclipse. Who would you award player of the game for this one, Harken?
I think it actually does have to go to K-Quick. He was on point 90% of the time with the damage. He kept on killing members that need to be killed. And even though Fiora got fed, Fiora had the assistance of the Lux, like the 1v3 top lane that Fiora came in. The Lux came in, ulted, and that essentially sealed the deal, even though Fiora was doing quite well herself. But I do think K-Quick definitely earned that game, and he earned player of the game, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. K-Quake put on a great show. Those lasers were on point, except for one that resulted in his death. But we'll ignore that for now. Great display from K-Quake. They progress to round 2. They earn their spot into the official bracket, essentially.
And they will be facing Verdant Tyros next round, so we'll see how they can do against them. And we will be seeing how this bracket's going to advance, because there's a lot of teams, there's a lot of good teams in this bracket, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, and on that note, we will be taking a break as we wait for the next matches to finish and start up round 2 of the Spring Jamboree. I am Decerux, followed by HarkenScythe, and we'll see you in a couple of minutes.